Hello, we're back after our mid-season break, and this is 251, two pianists, 5 minutes, one subject. And today we're going to be talking about intros. My name's Simon Whiteside.
And my name's Nick Tomlin, and this is 251. In very general terms, an intro or introduction it's really the bit before the main theme comes in, I guess, is how you could put it in a very simple way. In jazz terms, an intro could be arranged, so it could be part of the actual arrangement, or it could also be improvised. And very often as a pianist, we're both pianists, you are kind of expected to be able to just improvise an introduction. So the singer, if you're playing with a singer or instrumentalist, they might just say, right, we're going to play this. Could you just give me a little intro? And then you're kind of then expected to be able to do that. So I think most pianists, most jazz pianists, have a kind of a repertoire of things that they know are going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, what you're trying to do is you're trying to set up the beginning of the song, and you're trying to hit the first chord of the song, and probably if you're working with a singer, give the singer some kind of idea about the note they're supposed to come in on. And so there are all these things that you have to kind of take into account really when you're coming up with some ideas.
Yeah, well, let's talk about a few examples then. So I suppose the most obvious example is what we would call a dominant pedal. I often do kind of a 2 over a 5 going to a 5. And then you just vamp on that for normally 4 or 8 bars, and then you go into the tune. So here's an example of that. And another way you can achieve the same thing, which is kind of, I suppose you'd call it almost swimming on the spot, wouldn't you? Is to go around 1, 6, 2, 5, so that the tonic is nice and clearly. This is a good one for singers. The first chord is clearly stated. This is if the song starts on the first chord. Of course, some songs don't start on chord 1. So you just go 1, 6, 2, 5, 1, 6, 2, 5, and then when they will normally be able to come in, and then you can carry on the song from as soon as they come in. Here's an example of that. Another really good way of doing it is to have some sort of ostinato figure that fits in with the song somehow. So, you can think of the introduction, for example, Herbie Hancock's Maiden Voyage. The structure of the way the chords are going to happen is played in the introduction, isn't it? And then the tune comes in after a few times. Yeah,
I mean, generally, I tend to find it's quite good I quite like it if there's some reference to the piece that you're going to play in the introduction. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but I tend to use that just because it's a way of narrowing down your options in a way. If you use, I suppose that's why the other obvious thing is to do the last 4 bars or the last 8 bars of the actual tune, because then that kind of takes you to the beginning. Another one which I find works really nicely, especially on ballads, is to play the bridge. So you play the bridge and then you come in at the top. It can sometimes confuse people a little bit, that one. But the idea, because obviously the bridge leads you into the A section, and it's part of the tune. But things like that are quite useful little devices that you can use.
Well, there's a few things. I'll put up we've already put these up before. There's a few things that Sonny Clark did on intros to ballads, and also I've got a couple of Joe Zawinul introductions from the Nancy Wilson album, which are good sort of setups. But I think they were probably agreed, but not necessarily exactly the same every time. And the other thing, of course, you can do is a bit of the tune. Sets up the ideas. Well, there we are. Introductions to introductions. My name's Simon Whiteside. Goodbye.
My name's Nick Tomlin. Goodbye.